Okay, and we are back. I actually have to go make the kids lunch, so today's a new day. It's very pretty outside, nice, sunny, and bright, and I didn't quite finish all 3 pages that I wanted to do yesterday. I did about 1. So my goal is to get the other 2 done for today, but first I need to go make the kids lunch, and then I will be back to officially start this new day. Yes, do it. Okay, before I have my kind of comic chit chat, yeah, Kung Fu Panda. I wrote it down, so I'm going to try this being organized thing instead of just turning on the camera and rambling. But first, the husband called, and he wants some boiled eggs. So I guess I'll go ahead and boil him some eggs. I'd bring you with me, but I did not do the dishes yet, so just un momento. You know what? You're just going to have to deal with it. Kids playing Minecraft, of course. They finished their schoolwork, so they're good. Just turn it towards me. The inking of the comic pages, those are done for today. We're not going to try to catch up what we missed yesterday. Since I am my own boss, I'm going to go easier on myself this time around. Unlike what I did with Love Fighting, where I was so stressed out talking about this. Like, I'm sick of this story, I'm sick of working on this. You know, I ended up getting my drive back and finished it, but I don't want to like stress myself out so much to where I don't want to do it anymore. So we're not going to worry about catching up on the pages we missed out yesterday. Yesterday happened. It was a bad day. Like, mentally it was a bad day, but it ended on a good note, so it ended good, and we started a new day today. So let's not ruin today's day by worrying about what happened in the past. Let's learn from the past, fix what we can today, and keep moving forward. Where are these eggs? So now that I finished my comic, I realized that I've learned a couple of different things. The first thing that I learned is how to identify the reason of me wanting to create a story. I know I struggle. I don't know if other people struggle with this because I don't really have a lot of people to talk to about this, but I know for myself, I struggle with always starting a story. Oh, like an idea pops into my head, and I'm like, oh, I want to start this story. This seems like a good idea. And then I will start the story, and then it will fall flat. Like, I'm like, I don't know where else to go with this. Like, say, like if I watch a really cool show, then I'm like, oh, I want to do a story that has this kind of setting, and I'm all like, yeah, this story is gonna be awesome, and then it falls flat. I'm still learning this, but I've come to learn even more, or realize even more what it is, the root of why I do that, and the root of why those stories always seem to, I never could finish them. And the reason why I couldn't finish that is what I realized after actually finishing something is because I didn't know what I wanted to say. I knew the setting that I wanted, but I didn't know what message it is that I wanted to say, or why am I saying this. The book that helped me the most was Brian McDonald's Invisible Ink book, and also listening to his podcast that he did with Chris Oatley on Chris Oatley's website. And when he started to talk about how he would tell his students, you know, what is it you're trying to say? What's your story about? And they kind of did what I was doing, like, oh, it's going to be about like set in this time frame in history and all this cool stuff is going to happen. And then you say, you know, again, what is this? Well, what is your story about? And then you kind of repeat, well, it's going to happen, and this is going to happen. I realized I was always listing off these events, these cool events that I wanted to happen, but that's not really what the story is about. The story, like with what I learned through Love Fighting, while I was working on the story, I actually learned what it was that the story is about. Yes, the events, I had all these cool events that I wanted to happen, but I didn't really have a hold. I didn't have a hold of what the actual story message was about. And had I not actually finished it, had I kept stopping it and restarting it, okay, let me just restart it because it's not perfect enough, something's wrong with the art, something's wrong with how I worded this. Had I not had actually stopped and kept going back in that cycle that I did before, always trying to restart a story or pause a story, redo it, and then it eventually like goes into like my hiatus back burner and just fade off into like forever. Had I done that, I would not have been able to finish Love Live Fight, and I wouldn't have actually found what it was I wanted to say with the story. And you know, I've had this issue before, I had this issue in the past, I got excited about an event that I saw that happened in the movie, and I wanted to write a story about this event, but I had no subject. I had no reason on why I wanted the story to be made. I had no reason for standing up and telling the story. Like, what are you trying to say? You know, what is it you're trying to say? What is your story about? What are you trying to say? That's like some random person coming up to you and just start jabbing away, and it kind of ends on a run-on sentence, and you're like, okay, but what are you talking about? Kind of like how this sentence feels like that. I feel like I'm babbling. But what I learned, another thing that I have also learned, of course, is to A, find the reason on why I wanted to tell the story, and then B, tell it even if it's not perfect, as long as you've told it, and you'll learn from those mistakes. With Love Live Fighting, I've made a lot of mistakes, and it is not perfect at all, but I progressed. I've made progress. I've actually finished something. I finished a train of thought. I found the message that I wanted to say, and I finally got it out and said it. You know, like when you struggle with trying to say something, like for me, if I'm struggling trying to say something, if I'm having a conversation with somebody and I'm struggling with my words, and I'm just trying to get out what I want to get out, I might stumble over my words, but eventually what I'm trying to say will come out. So with Love Live Fighting, I finally finished the story. A lot of it does feel like I babbled and stumbled and tripped along, but I got out what it was I was trying to say, the message that I was trying to say. And I feel that since I finally made it past this step that I struggled with for so long, I finally feel like I've grown enough to where I can go on to, I can learn from these mistakes and apply them to the new ones, and then get better at trying to say whatever it is I'm trying to say. So that's why I'm glad I didn't, because I did have a lot of artist blocks, and I realized those artist blocks were just blocks caused by my own fear of not being good enough, fear of not telling the story well enough. And I've learned that you just kind of gotta shut off your brain, do the work, push past the fear, and know that nothing you make is going to be absolutely perfect. Because as you get older, you're going to look back on that and you're going to see, oh my God, I thought this was perfect at that time. At that time, yeah, you thought it was perfect, but it's not. And that's okay. You know, it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect, whatever your idea of perfect is. For me, I personally feel, and I've learned, as long as I keep progressing, as long as I keep trying, as long as I keep doing to the best of my abilities where I'm at that point, whether one day I might be able to give 70%, or another day I might be able to give 85%. It might not be up to everybody's 100% each day, but for that day, I might have only had 70% in me. If I give that whole 70%, I did my best. You know, you can only work at the level that you're at, and you just gotta keep going. And that's what I've learned with Love Live Fighting. I feel like, I'm getting emotional. Calm down. That's what I've learned with Love Live Fighting. Progress over perfection. And I want to continue to keep learning this, and I have to keep reminding myself of this. It's progress over perfection. And in being a stay-at-home mom and homeschooling my kids, I see that with them. I try to keep them encouraged, like, you can do it, just keep going. Okay, even if you make mistakes, keep going. You don't give up. When you make mistakes, don't give up. Just keep trying. And seeing them put that into action, and actually seeing for myself, oh my God, they're getting it. And I know it might sound a little bad, it's like, you know, because you're the one that's cheering them on, like, you can do it, you can do it. And then when they actually do it, it's like, oh my God, you did it. I know it sounds a little hypocritical, but, you know, a part of me knows, okay, I know you can get it. I know you can do it because it's that hope. I had that hope. And they actually do get it. And they actually, on their own, not on their own, but they apply what they've learned, and they applied the mistakes that they've learned, and they worked on it, they progressed more, and they got it. It's like an eye-opener to me. They are constantly teaching me how to keep going as well, how to kind of like practice what I'm preaching. Learn from your mistakes, keep progressing, keep going. And I know I wanted this video to kind of be like a day in the life of what I do as a homeschooling mother and a comic creator, stay-at-home mom, whatever. I wanted to kind of cover this subject on kind of what it's like behind the scenes on creating comics and taking care of children. And even though those two kind of things seem very different or like very opposite of each other, having my kids and actually being with them daily and having such a big role on their education and watching them grow and develop, it has been helping me. I mean, I still have a lot of stuff I gotta, you know, work through mentally, you know, with my comics and just with myself. But it's interesting seeing how these two different worlds kind of mold into each other. So I think that's all that I really had to talk about with that. Progress over perfection. Find out what it is you're trying to say, and even if you struggle with getting to the point of the thing that you're trying to say, or you get sidetracked, just keep trying. It happens to me. You are not alone. I'm doing that. I think I'm doing that right now. I keep getting sidetracked, and I feel like I'm just rambling. But I'm going to keep progressing and keep trying. So progress over perfection. Find out the message. I've learned progress over perfection, and I've learned to find the message or the reason why I wanted to tell this story, and just to tell it as best as I can at the level that I am at. Don't beat yourself up because you might not. I'm not going to beat myself up because I might not be at where other people are at. I'm going to keep trying, keep making progress, however small that progress is, even if it's like a mental progress. Keep making progress. Step count. He is home.
I is home.
I is home.
Has made it.
He's made it. It's our inside joke. That's how Charleston sounds when he talks. Charleston is our little angry rabbit. Okay, back from paying off the bills. I'm doing like a mental check to make sure I have everything done. So, of course the kids' schoolwork is done for today. I inked in the 3 pages. I want to try to color in, or at least set the base. No, I want to try to color in all 3 of those pages today. So, the sun is already going down. I probably won't be able to get to the coloring until... I probably won't be done with the coloring until at nighttime, so I might record me doing the coloring process. I don't know. I'm not sure if that's something you guys want to see because you guys already saw me doing the inking process. So I don't know. But, I mean, you know what? Let's leave it right here for now. Let's end it here for now. And we will plan accordingly. We will see what happens with the feedback that I get from this movie. So if you guys want to see my inking process or just see me inking, coloring in the comics, let me know, because I totally get that. Because like when I see somebody, when I have a book and I really enjoyed that book, I want to see someone else read the book and then watch their face as they're reading the book to see if they're enjoying the book the way they should be enjoying the book. It's weird, I know, but that's kind of how I am with inking. I like to see other people drawing as well, because it's like, yes, I'm living vicariously through them. So like when I have somebody else read the book, it's like I'm reliving that awesome feeling when I first read this book. I'm reliving it through them. So just let me know. My glasses are falling and I'm sweaty. Okay, that's all. Bye guys.